Hi, my name is Chris Casper. I'm the superintendent of schools out here at Narragansett. Now, if you've been here for a while, you've seen me do a lot of videos in a lot of different places, but you've never seen me do a video from this place, the roof of the middle high school. We talk a lot about ponding, and this is ponding. It rained 3 days ago. I am still standing in an inch of water. And the reason why water ponds is that the insulation below us has been compromised and has collapsed. I know you've heard a lot about the roof flashing. Well, this is what they're talking about. If you see right here, there are gaps. And the way that this is channeled is actually pushing water into the building. Remember the roof flashing I just showed you on the outside? This is exactly where we were. And you can see what it does on the inside of the building. It's actually starting to decompose the brick, which of course the concern is that structurally it could weaken the walls that actually hold the building up. So if you ever come into the middle school, by their middle school main office, and you've seen buckets or big trash barrels, this is where it's coming from, we think. So you have ponding water, and of course the flashing is absolutely doing little good. When we talk about some of the structural inadequacies of the roof, as you can see, this is how flashing should look. And then, for some unknown reason, there is no flashing. Or they had just two pieces that just didn't fit, and so they put them together anyway just to let fate take its own course. This is another unfortunate example of water getting into places where it shouldn't. It's starting to, of course, deteriorate the caulking, but it's actually, the brick is starting to separate further from the actual main part of the building. So we talked a lot about when the flashing is bad, but what happens when there's no flashing? And this is a good example. We have a lot of that throughout the complex, especially in the roof, is that, again, the water gets into places it should not, and it starts to erode the mortar, which of course weakens the bricks, which of course makes it start making it structurally unsound. Now, a good portion of the high school roof is metal. This is a part of the high school roof. There's a bunch of problems up there. I'm not going up there to show you. There's just no way. You're just going to have to trust me. This is a great example, or a horrible example, of how the roof is starting to bubble up all over the place. It's starting to detach from the base, and this isn't good, because that means that water is somewhere in there, or has been in there for a while, and it's starting to slowly spread, which of course is just going to make things much, much worse. Now, you saw all the issues on the outside, but this is how it affects us on the inside of the building. So here, for example, we've actually had to cut this building, the ceiling tile, in order to get the basting pan quickly to catch the water that is actually leaking from the roof. Of course, you see some other damage here that the water coming from the roof into the actual school building is caused. So another example of how all the issues on the outside are affecting us on the inside. We're in one of the locker rooms, and as you can see, we're dealing with it right now. The water's coming in. It, of course, is coming down the metal beams, which are starting to rust. And when we start talking about structural damage, this is what can happen over a prolonged amount of time. The beam can actually start to weaken. It hasn't. It's still structurally sound, but this is the way that beams will become unstructurally sound. So there you have it, a bird's eye view of just some of the issues that will be addressed if the MSBA project is successfully passed by both member towns. We appreciate your support.